Hello everybody, welcome back to a new video. It's Inktober, so you know what we're going to be talking about, line art. So I have prepared a piece today in the spirit of Inktober and Halloween and all that stuff, since Halloween is just a few days away, well, just a couple days away. I'm not somebody who celebrates it, but yeah, I decided to draw a piece in honor of it, and I'm drawing some of my characters as bee heathers. So the first thing that I do is prepare a clean sketch underneath. And when I say clean, I mean clean, crisp. I have my lines as thick as I want them to be, or as thin as I want them to be, and I don't have any stray scragglers, anything. I try to keep it as crisp and clean as possible, and then from there I start to line over everything. I use a plethora of brushes. In fact, the brush I'm using here is one I've created myself and one that you can use yourself as well, but I'll talk more about that later. But I am very careful about my strokes, but I try to keep them as long as possible and also as clean as possible. Sometimes I go for a more gritty style, but oftentimes you'll get experiences like that, where I'm drawing the line over and over and over until I get the perfect one. Line art takes the second least amount of time for me. Sketching takes the most time, but then from there, line art is pretty difficult because I'm very particular about how I draw everything. I was testing like this other brush that I have called the Perfect Ink, which is also up, available for purchase or for free. It's available for free on Gumroad, I think. Yeah, but I didn't have it on Ko-fi as well. I don't know how to say it. So yeah, I try to keep everything. What was I saying? Oh, I was talking about my lines. When I use them, use them like short and like not so fluid, it really I think makes the piece look like, how do I say, like it's missing something. I think it loses the essence of the sketch, and that's why I always start off with a clean sketch in order to not lose the essence. And then from there I try to do longer lines so that it feels like it flows more naturally and that I'm confident in it. You know, sometimes I will do a shorter strokes to thicken up a line, but because most of the new brushes I made have pen pressure, that problem is not really there. So you see how I just do big swooping motions, trying to like add pressure when I want to, and not have pressure in other times. Like I feel like that's a hard balance when you're first starting out and using brushes and stuff, but I feel like you get the hang of it once you get more into your flow and you'll get comfortable. I also do use a paper screen protector, not like the name brand one, just a regular, like just the one that was marketed the same way but cost cheaper, because I think I like the texture better. I actually had a paper like screen protector and I liked it just fine, but I think that it has a different texture than the off-brand ones, and I think maybe I was more used to the off-brand ones than the paper like. Anyway, back to line art. I changed the line art for how I do hair just a little bit. I wanted to add more detail back into it, so I decided to figure out a smaller size brush, like my same brush but smaller size, so I could just have a little bit more detail and feel more comfortable. And I realized that one of the reasons I wasn't liking how I did the Widow's Peak on Solomon is because I wanted the lines to be smaller and create more contrast in my line art, because I think that's what really helps line art look dynamic. I'm also not afraid to go over and exaggerate shapes or add in details that might have not been in the sketch, just because I think that gives the drawing the potential to flourish whereas sometimes in the sketch I might have missed something, and I don't want to be too much of a stickler to the point where I am negatively affecting my outcome. I always zoom out while I'm working on line art as well, so I can think about the big picture and see if I'm adding too much details to something and also how it looks. I also always uncheck the sketch underneath. Yeah, I uncheck the sketch underneath as well so that I'm confident of my line art on its own. This is a part that I struggle with. I went into my settings and changed stuff because I thought it was squiggling too much, but interrupting the video just to say that on my Ko-fi, I will put the link in my description as always. There's this brush pack with 6 new brushes that I custom made, and you can get them for just $6. So yeah, check them out if you are interested in the look of this piece. So this part I really struggled with, and I ended up turning the iPad around, which I would also say is a trick you can use. Like, don't be afraid to put it in all these different positions and everything, just so that you are able to draw. I think that this ankle is also a little bit more uncomfortable for me. Softer on the wrist, but I usually do not draw like this. I usually draw with my hand, like the tablet is down, flat, usually. Maybe I angle it with my hand, but I'm usually not using the stand to make it stand up. I think my favorite part is always thickening certain lines or adding more, adding more shadows to certain lines so that the piece comes to life more. It's really interesting to me and more powerful that way. Like, the piece just looks lively. I think that becoming comfortable with your line art is very hard, and I think even when you look at how other people use stuff, it's inspiring, right? But I think that it ultimately comes with confidence within yourself. And I would just say, get comfortable with, find a brush that you really feel comfortable with and just practice all the time. And if you think that something's looking off, always just self-reflect. Go back, look at your pieces, and try to add more depth and dimension. There's this really good video by Mepity on Instagram and on YouTube. But yeah, it's on. If you can find the video on YouTube, and I think I'll link it in the description as well if I remember. If not, you can remind me and I will get right on that. But yeah, I just think that watching videos and then putting it into practice, you will get there. I used to really hate line art. I used to really struggle. There's so many pieces of me struggling, and I just, it's just so cringy because now I just feel fine with it. So looking back at how I was struggling, I'm I don't remember why I was struggling so much, but I mainly think it was a lack of a sketch that was clean. Sorry for yawning so much. I'm really tired. Yeah, it's not as late. I mean, it's the same time that I usually film, but I'm just really tired today. So I am going to wrap it up soon and let you watch the rest of my process as I do the rest of the line art for the other girls in the, what's it called? The iPad speed paint. I recorded all of my screen, but I just don't think you guys would want to be in silence that long or want to watch the full thing. But if you do want to watch the full thing, I can upload it to Patreon with no sound or something, and I'll just do it for free, no paywall. Thank you so much for watching. I hope you enjoyed this video. Comment, like, and subscribe. Go support my Ko-fi or my Patreon or me on Gumroad. Those are my main platforms. I don't really post anywhere else. I'm gonna start posting my pictures on Ko-fi and stuff. You'll see the finished drawing of this and some other Halloween illustrations that are exclusive to Ko-fi or Ko-fi members or Patreon members. Yeah, so have a great day. Thank you so much. Bye.